A.N. Nayak which held was that if you reconstitute partnership subsequent to family arrangement, then it's not dissolution of firm. That's the only limited part, that reconstitution of family arrangement, partnership to family arrangement is not dissolution. But then it has interpreted or otherwise so widely that now Mansukh line has gone to another level. So anyway, that's not my topics I'm not going to discuss. About 45 being retrospective, and I mean it's a different session by itself. So I'm just skipping that part. Another thing is the amount of mobility. When they pay compensation to like the part, sometimes when there's partition, then you pay compensation, then that is not exigible to tax. Basically, these are all governed by principles of consideration. There are considerations to bring peace, etc. So no taxation. This one is a small one which was clubbing. So in clubbing, one lady had to support minor children because husband had deserted. So that property, the alienation of property is to be considered family settlement and not as transfer. So again, what I'm saying is that these cases have very well considered specific situations, which are arising out of some events or some eventualities, and they've read them in the law to say why tax does not apply, which is really laudable, because it's not always everything under the rule book, but there are certain considerations which often affect these things. So the third and most common one, all of us keep reading about private family trust. Now, private family trust, as you know, these are other than charitable trust, governed by Indian Trust Act. We all know Indian Trust Act governs private trust. Charitable trusts are governed by the respective laws of the state. Like we have Bombay Public Trust, Maharashtra, governing Maharashtra. So private trusts, what are basically put quickly say, by private trusts are created for benefit of one or more individuals for a specific period. And the essential is that there are specified, there is a settler who settles the sum, there are trustees who hold the assets or they handle the trust for the benefit of another. So trustees are in fiduciary capacity, and there are beneficiaries for whom the trust is formed and for whom the trust will earn income and carry out certain actions. So three parties, author or settler, trustees and beneficiaries. Now, trust could be of different types. As you know, in income tax, we have a concept called revocable trust. What is revocable? Now, revocable trust is something which can be cancelled any time by the settler during his lifetime. He can cancel it. But irrevocable cannot be cancelled till the period is over. You often see, these trusts being created for minor children. And say that the trust will come to an end when the child reaches certain age. So in the meantime, the corpus and other assets are invested, income is generated, and depending on the directions of the terms of the trust, either it could be distributed or not. So these irrevocable trusts are those which are for specific period, but they cannot be called back till the period is over. There could also be trust formed under a will. You can have a trust under the will. The testator can say that now after my lifetime, after meeting certain expenses, you form a trust. And all my estate lies in the trust and it will be handled in a particular way for certain years. So these are called discretionary testamentary trust, or they can have discretion, non-discretionary, other than testamentary, regular trust. Now, important thing is a specific, what is specific trust? Where you know names of individuals and also interests or right that they have in the trust. So for example, there are A, B, C, D, 4 beneficiaries. The trust is each one has 20% interest, has 20% right in this. So that becomes a specific trust, because there is no discretion on trustees on if changing the distribution. They have to, as and when they distribute, it has to be in this proportion. That's called specific trust. And hence, when we prepare a trust deed, the most important thing to keep in mind is name of author or name of settler, trustee name, beneficiary, address, powers, and also whether period of trust and whether it is going to be discretionary or it's going to be non-discretionary. Those terms have to very clearly come out. That, for example, non-discretionary, the trustees have to distribute entire income at the year end in such a way. Discretionary trustees may distribute. So those things must be very clearly written in the trust, so that the later on execution of trust is not a problem. There is a provision that if the object is not in the income tax, if the object of the trust has come to an end, then the beneficiaries can call upon trustees to dissolve the trust under the Indian Trust Act. That's when the object for which was formed and is over, but the period is not over, then they can call upon. That's an exceptional case to irrevocable trust. And when you create trust, also keep in mind not just income tax, stamp duty, SEBI because they are listed shares, FEMA if there are non-resident beneficiary, foreign assets, etc. For trust, when we form a trust, the most important thing is that the stamp, when the corpus is there, corpus if it is cash is fine, but if you settle say certain securities or assets, immediately the stamp duty has to be seen for these assets, and that's why stamp duty. SEBI, if the promoters form trust for their promoters holding, then the SEBI law implications, etc. Now for the private trust, if some of you would be aware, see private trust, as I said, who is the representative of a trust? It is trustee. PAN is trust, but trust, so and so as trustee or so and so trust. So if the status is there as of a trust, but the litigation arose in past, especially when there was ATL, which used to got a bank interest, dividend, etc. So the question arose that whether a trust can get ATL or not private trust. So this is Shardar, Mafatlal and others, they said that trustees are individuals. So they are in the nature of, because they are as much responsible, and they are in place of the beneficiary, and they are the individuals. So trust is an individual and it has to get ATL. So on various provisions, in certain cases, they will help that trust will be treated as private trust will be treated as individual in those specific cases of reduction, especially ATL was a live issue at that time. To quickly, this only covers all the provisions which you can read for a trust, private trust. 56 to 10 we have already discussed. 160, 161, 162 and 164 are 4 provisions which are relevant for private trust. 161 is the liability of trustee in case of it cannot exceed that of a liability of a beneficiary. 164 is for the discretionary trust where shares of beneficiaries are not known. And 162 says that the representative has right to recover taxes which he pays as representative, because it's not his own liability, it's the liability of the SSC. So this is something which you can just read up, but 160 to 164 are most important for the private trust taxation. Apart from that, you can also, as I mentioned, 47(3). Again, 47 exempts any transfer of capital assets under irrevocable trust, just as the bill transfer under bill is exempt. 49 similar to will, cost to the settler is allowed. Again, 242 is similar to will, consider the period of holding of settler. And indexation, again here, arguable following Manjula Shah that this indexation should be available because trust was holding some securities and assets, and it says it. Then following Manjula Shah's decision, you can argue that we should get the indexation also from the date on which the settler had acquired, just as you get period. So that's an argument, very strong argument. As I said, Income Tax Act, as I mentioned, is one revocable trust which a settler can call back. So in revocable, we have 3 provisions of the Act, Section 162, 163, and under that, any income arising by revocable transfer continues to be income of the transfer. So even if he puts it in the trust, if he has right to revocable transfer, something by which the income can come back to him. So by that, even if he settles trust, no difference, it continues to be taxed in his hand. And there are provisions on oral trust. Normally, oral oral trust, nowadays people generally prefer to have a written trust.